My name's David Short. I'm the founder and the curator of the Veterans Memorial Museum Foundation, Germantown, Ohio. I'm retired Chief Warrant Officer from the U.S. Army, and I had a great interest in history, and I had interviewed dozens of World War II veterans for years, and I saw a need to make sure that their stories are recognized and that they're not forgotten. So we educate the public by telling the stories of the veterans and talk about their sacrifices. We think that it makes children better citizens, and we think that in turn will make our country a better place.
At 16, I was coming home from a movie in Stanford, Kentucky, and the driver had the radio on. That was my first knowledge of the attack on Pearl Harbor. I talked my parents into letting me volunteer at 17, so I went in, enlisted in the Navy at 17.
My name's Jack Nisley. I was 15 and a half when I went in the Navy.
September 8th, we went to Peleliu. The first wave went into Peleliu, and I think we were in the second wave. Well, of course, we could see on the way. We think there's nothing left of that island when they got done bombing and shelling the place before you. You tell yourself, there can't be anything left. Well, boy, the time we got the first wave got halfway, got close enough, everything hell let loose. I jumped out and landed on the beach, and I went to get up, and I took one step and fell on my face. I took another step, and I fell on my face 3 times. What the hell, my leg, what's the matter with my leg? The squad picked me up, found out I had broken my left leg, and they dragged me to a foxhole. And they took off. And while I was laying there on the beach, while the Japanese, I don't know whether they were shooting at me or not, but the shells were going over me, and I was yelling at these guys sitting around there to get me out of this damn. I say they're aiming at me here.
Saipan was critical. The Japanese knew that if we took Saipan, that the homeland would be subject to our B-29 bombers. This was my first battle in the Pacific, and that's what the beach looked like when we went ashore. I was not in the first wave, I was in about the second or third wave, and the beach was pretty well littered with dead bodies.
For the Japanese, that's the first one we started taking over. Tarawa, it was bad. The water was just full of bodies.
The veterans of the wars know the cost, and the World War II veterans were no exception. If you don't contribute to that cost, it's easy to take it for granted.
And we was in that sea battle there at the Philippines. It's supposed to have been the largest sea battle that's ever had. And the last one was Okinawa. I was in turret 3. I was on a 16-inch shell. We had 3 20 millimeters on top of the turret, and there was 3 men on each one of them. And when that bomb and plane, he didn't drop the bomb. Plane and all hit. We lost 35 men on top of the guys on top, and then some on the deck got killed too, you know. But that's the way the turret looked inside after it hit it. You can imagine that much, about 5 or 6 inches of steel getting dish-panned like that.
Just after I started back, they lobbed 2 shells into this area where I had just left. Now, there was, I think, 7 injured and 2 or 3 killed, and I just happened to be far enough away that I just got a little splinter of one of these shells in my arm. But I don't know what, but they were right where I had left us, where they dropped them shells. And so you just never know what kind of idea gets in your head, who puts it there to move, get up and move.
So we take freedom for granted because we don't know the cost. And all you have to do is go to Europe, go to the Pacific, go to the Far East, go to Arlington, go to your local cemetery, and there are hundreds of thousands of graves of service people taken at the beginning of their youth, the beginning of their lives.
I think to this day, how does God, or who decides how long you're going to live, or why you live, why somebody else doesn't live? Because every guy's getting shot right and left, boats getting hit, and the Japanese shooting at us, but just couldn't get the right range or something. You know, I even to myself think, hell, I just remember, well, that's what we trained for. That's what we trained all this, and I just didn't have any other feeling than going in, then, yeah, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And that's strange. I keep thinking, well, why wasn't I scared? Well, you've already been in one battle, and I think, well, that's the way it happens, and that's, you just hope that you come out.
They never forgot their comrades. Many of them joined veterans organizations like the American Legion of Veterans of Foreign War, or they joined their unit association.
That's my passions, and that's what I'm living for, and that's what I'm continuing to do, and that's why I've written the books about the war in the Pacific, because I want to glorify my comrades who fought there. That's the type of people that I serve with, and I'm so proud to have been a server of those.
It's amazing when you read the obituaries of the World War II generation, you know, what they were involved in. Just take the time and objectively read a World War II veteran's obituary. Normally there'll be a small paragraph about their war service because a lot of people forgot what Dad did in the war, where he served, what unit he was with, but it'll generally say, proud member of the U.S. Marine Corps, the U.S. Army in World War II, but then it'll tell you what he did, you know, where he worked and his associations and all he did to give back to society.
I entered the University of Kentucky in February of 1950, and I graduated with an BS in engineering in August of 1953.
Came to Ohio and went to work for General Motors. I worked for them for 35 years. Ended up as a tool maker, a good job.
I had the honor to know hundreds of World War II veterans, and what I learned from them was love of fellow man, integrity, sacrifice, discipline, and a great loving appreciation for our nation. Live a good life. That's how you thank them, and that's how you pay them back. Live a good life. Give back. Be a leader in your community.
And I would do it again if I had to.
I don't regret, you know, what I've done or anything I've done. I'd do it again if I had to. The Lord's been good to me. Well, I've had a wonderful life. Yeah. Wouldn't take nothing too much. So I'm still going.
I don't know how you're supposed to feel at 95, but I feel great. And that's the kind of end of the story.